Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next match in the 2025 Pod Racing Tournament. I am domirae. Today, I will be joined by Digital Unity on commentary. He is running a couple minutes late, so we are going to just get the ball rolling up until he gets here. We're going to be starting today on the Spice Mine Run. Quite an exciting pick, if you ask me. World record on this track is a 338.196. Mike has a 339.420, and I honestly have absolutely no idea what Belle is capable of here. So this could be quite interesting. I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple people. Looks like we are starting actually, which is all of our tournament staffers, and especially Lightning Pirate for getting everything set up this year. Is incredible mall-inspired background, in addition to having the entire back end stuff in Votto just be completely remade. It's all thanks to him that we have such a smooth tournament this year. And every match that I've seen so far has been smooth, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. All right, moving right into the race. Both players have had a clean enough opening. They just got off of what's known as fast terrain. Belle using a questionable boost strategy there, kind of breaking that up. Not typically what you want to see. So Mike is going to have a bit of a strategical advantage going into this mining section. See, Belle's got a lot of boost to try to get out here, and Mike's just riding on high heat, completely relaxed going into this mining section. I'm imagining that he's probably going to aim for somewhere in the 241 to 242 range, just because he's always aware of being super consistent and safe. And if there's one thing that Mike is, it is consistent. He is a pillar of consistency, both in terms of his activity in the community, having been in the community and a part of the speedrunning scene since 2009. But he also is consistent in his racing, almost never taking any deaths. So Belle is going to have to hope for some mistakes from Mike today, as Mike is the favored player. Both still keeping it clean enough. Belle definitely having lost quite a bit of time already, as you can see here. We're going to have Mike exiting the fast train at 1:45, and Belle coming across almost at 1:48. So about 2.5 seconds separate the players already. And we are only about halfway through the race. So Mike is always putting up incredible paces. He is dropping some frames on his stream, unfortunately, but we are still seeing more than enough to know that the race will be legit. Coming up to this ending, we're going to have to see clean market area. We didn't get the chance to talk about this on lap 1, but this section is very, very tumultuous. Easy to die on the corners. Both making it through just fine once again. Mike coming across with 1:13:48 and Belle with 1:15:08. So that's a second and a half that Mike has gained on that lap 2. And we can really see Mike squeezing around the edge of the dozer. Belle also squeezing around the edge of the dozer. I don't think either quite waited as long as they could have on that opening sequence. I'm not even sure. I didn't pay attention to if they waited at all, but regardless, Belle's definitely going to need a death from Mike at this point. I really don't think anything else could make up this gap. Even a big bonk, Mike would probably be able to accelerate too quickly and maintain his lead. Ending section is about a 320.3, and Belle is going to be coming across there at basically 6 seconds behind Mike. So yeah, even with a death, Mike could still win this. Ending section's nice and clean for Mike. Going up to the end, 340.5. Very strong showing as always for Mike. Getting us started off on the right foot. Belle coming across with a 347.803, meaning that Mike has taken the first race of this match. That means we will be going on to the first of Belle's picks, which is going to be Howler Gorge today. All right, and it looks like we do have Digital Unity joining us in commentary. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me today. Sorry I'm late. I had to get gas in my car. Then there was a train at the train crossing for the first time in my entire life.
Classic. All right, I do believe that was the restart race from Belle, so we're gonna have to wait and see what Mike does. Okay, restart. Perfect. We'll just have a little
Oh,
bit of a
I
sync
missed one
here.
already?
You did miss the first race, yes.
Oh no, what was it?
Well, for round one of Swiss, it is always going to be Spice Mine Run. We had a moment of sync there. We had Mike get a 340.5 and Belle get a 347.7. So that first race did go to Mike. This is the first of Belle's picks, will be pre-selected before the match picks on Howler Gorge.
Okay.
All right, Mike making it through the bridge. Belle did have a little bit of a mishap there, so you're going to see Mike go right past where Belle is, a few seconds ahead already.
Mike and Belle are on not fully opposite ends of the spectrum here, but Mike probably has at least 3 world records just that he hasn't told anyone about.
Mike is always the ever-present, incredibly skilled player that decides when he wants to grace us with his times. But Belle is, yeah, I mean, Mike is almost always going to have an experience and time advantage over basically every player in the game except for 2 or 3. So when you have something like that, you're going to have a big gap in what people are capable of. All right, 116.4 for Belle. I didn't catch exactly what Mike's times was, but I imagine it was about like a 109.
We're on regular speed gaming, right?
Speed gaming 2.
Oh, we're on speed gaming 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Botto really screwed that up.
I can't help you there. Oh, big red repair for Belle here. Definitely losing on a lot of time already. I mean, it's Belle with the frustrated look backs. I mean, we're looking at like a 12-second lead for Mike already. And that's another red engine from landing. After this, I'm going to tell Belle that you want to land without still having the boost on to reduce damage that you take. Mike, 10 entrants, level lap 3, minute 4.
I think commentating with Dom is probably the only instance where commentators will not incorrectly explain a concept. Mark your calendars, everybody. For the first time, we'll actually get things right today.
Oh my gosh, we see a mistake from Mike!
That hardly ever happens.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of marking your calendars, Mike died!
Oh my gosh.
It's a momentous
It's a historic day all around. What does the Swiss play to? 3?
This is a best of 7, so it's first to 4.
Best of 7. So we play first to 4. Got it.
Yep.
I was on the committee that made the rules, and I can't remember them right now.
I mean, to be fair, you don't have to think about them as often, so that's understandable.
Yeah, I'm actually not participating in tournament this year. I'm not running.
Yeah, you pre-thought about it, but now you don't have to. All right,
yeah,
Mike coming
much.
across the line with a 325, having lost somewhere in the order of 4 to 5 seconds there, so would have been roughly a 320. And Belle coming across with a 338. So we are going to be doing Gauntlet full track. We have not actually seen the start of the race yet, but it is always an interesting pick. Longest track in the game by distance, as Draco would always remind us, not by time though.
We love Gauntlet
still belongs to FMR. Gauntlet Full Track is possibly one of the least contentious in the game in terms of general opinion. I think most people would agree it's pretty just okay.
It's mildly adequate.
If that's Mike restarting his race, then he may not have actually waited as long. So we might get an opposingly long sync. Dang it. Why do you do this to me, Mike? What did I do to you to deserve this?
Well, for one, you beat him in tournament.
No! Well, this is great.
For one, you beat Mike in tournament last year. So that's that might have something to do with it.
You know, that's just what had to happen. I can't help that. It had to happen.
Going for a long endurance track against Mike is ... It's I don't think it's the player's choice.
What do you mean?
Is it? Did they pick this?
They pick ahead of time. So Belle picked this track ahead of time. Yeah.
I thought the Swiss only gave... I thought we had like a list of allowed tracks to use on the Swiss.
No.
No?
So the way that the picks work is the first track is predetermined by the tournament selection committee, which includes Game Draco, Andy Panther, and Hayudoro.
Okay.
They select the track that has to be played for the first track for every round of Swiss, this time being Swiss.
Okay.
Following that, each player selects 4 picks, and then from there, they each get to ban one of the other players' picks. So then it just plays out in order of their picks that they did that didn't get banned. So Belle selected Gauntlet as their second of the picks, and so that's where we're at now. Assuming that Mike wins this, then we would go to Belle's third pick, and we wouldn't see any of Mike's picks, but they are allowed to pick any normal type of forces as well as any track.
Evidently, the rule set that I thought we had is not what we've actually gone with. I thought we had like a whitelist.
Well, that's interesting that you guys even talked about a whitelist. All right,
yeah,
so Mike got a 141.5,
141.5,
and Belle's going to get a 156, so we are already looking at a 15-second advantage for Mike.
I remember talking about a list of tracks that were allowed to be selected from for each leg of the tourney that would get progressively wider as things went on, and we would have a similar selection for pods to try and get more variety of vehicles into the play. So evidently they must have had another meeting without me.
I could not tell you in that regard, but it's still interesting to hear a little bit of that. Okay, so we are looking at quite a discrepancy in time here. Mike is on pace to get roughly in the 5 minutes to 5:01 range. I don't know if he has a sub-5 time or not without skips, given that his profile showed skips, and the best time I have for him is a 5:03. But you know how Mike is, he probably has sub-5. As for Belle, I have absolutely no idea what they're capable of here, but if this race has been anything to go by, it's probably like a 5 minute and 30-second time at like in an IL situation based off of what's been happening. So that's
especially with this
quite
boost
a big
pattern.
difference. Mike with
Not
a
really.
139.77.
Belle's not really taking advantage of the ability of Ben to actually cool his engines here.
Oh! Taking a death in the tube.
We love Gauntlet Tube here.
You know, it's mostly fine until you get to high FPS, and then it's particularly annoying, but it does take a lot of people out.
What FPS is Mike supposed to be on?
Well, I believe he's playing at 30, based off the top right corner. 30 is a perfectly fine FPS for Gauntlet.
Well, right now it's, teacher advance the slide, please.
I do believe his stream is struggling. It has been the whole time. far
Getting
as
a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation over here.
Well, at least there's enough frames
Bell's
of
on
the
fire.
PowerPoint presentation to know that he's, doing the race. We would be able to tell something tragic after, but not much more. He's lag switching. I agree. Goofy's lag switching.
Mike, you can't
Mike outta
jiggle
here.
the 56K modem, all right? You gotta leave it alone.
All right, Mike coming across the line with a 5-minute flat and 25.8.
5.58.
5.85 apparently. Belle coming to the end here. Looks like they definitely cleaned things up.
Nope, not clean in the tube even one time.
Not in the tube. Just the track time got a bit better after lap 1, so it wasn't quite as bad of a difference as I thought. So we do see a 5:33.524. All right. So the last of Belle's picks, and potentially the last race of this match, is going to be the ever lovely Baru Coast. And this is the fun part. We have Ben Band, Mahonic Band, Mars Band, Elon Band, and Bullseye Band for this one.
Dear God, 6 pod bands?
Uh-huh. Belle used both force points on this pick.
It's a decision.
It's it is one of the picks of all time. Now, realistically, you don't have very many good options left. Realistically, somebody like Bowles and Aldar is probably the fastest pick remaining. However, I do believe Belle wanted this to be specifically an Aldar mirror, and I think Mike agreed to it, so we're gonna get Aldar regardless of what picks might be viable.
For those out of the loop here, my entire life has changed.
Yeah?
Haven't really had the time to sit down with the racer for a bit.
I'm personally still dealing with a controller switch that I made, and it's throwing me off a little bit. All right, I do believe that was Mike's real restart. So somehow we're waiting for Belle without a sync difference. That's interesting. Unless that was Belle's actual restart, then I just didn't realize it. That's probably what actually happened. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna sync Belle backwards because I apparently can't pay attention.
Yeah, it's about a
10
10-second sync, 15-second sync.
Well, with Mike's frame rate, it's very difficult to tell. But,
Yeah,
it should be close enough.
Oh, Mike died!
The Aldar curse! The terrible turn rate! Gets him!
You never see Mike crash.
That wall has absolutely no favorites in any sense of the word. It does not play nice with anybody. And if you come at it and you hit it slightly wrong angle, it doesn't matter who you are dead. But as we can see, Mike has already made up the difference and is passing Belle after dying.
The wall decides who will stay and who will go.
We're going to need to see a lot more chaos out of Mike in order for Belle to win this race. But a minute 26 with a death is not that bad. I don't know if Belle died early in the race or not, but a minute 29 coming out from Belle.
I don't think Belle did die. I think Belle did that lap clean, which is... that just shows the difference between these two runners.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, Baru Coast is, as far as I understand, it's his favorite track. So he's put a lot of time into the track.
And Belle picked it against him. Okay, that's... Again,
Belle did say
it's
before
a
the
decision.
match started. Belle did say before the match started, here for a fun time, not a long time, so...
That's fair.
I understand it. I mean, Belle's very conscientious of the skill gap between themselves and Mike. I mean, like I
Kind of
said,
hard
there's not
not
very
to
many,
acknowledge
not
the
many
skill gap.
players, not many players can beat Mike.
Says the
sure,
one player who's beaten Mike.
I think the only people who've ever beaten Mike in a tournament match are what? Ace,
Probably you and
King
Ace.
Dip, myself, and Homura? Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like people who could do it. Oh, there goes Belle.
I think Goof can, I just don't think Goof has.
Goof probably can if Goof played tournament again.
He's in tournament.
He's in tournament this year.
He played earlier today.
Oh, you're right, he did, and I missed the match because I was busy. I had things to do.
Yes. I did commentary on that match as well. I am just giving myself a whole fun, well, my weekend this Sunday, but a whole fun weekend for myself here. I'm doing commentary on 3 matches in a 2-day span, as well as doing a match myself.
Well, congratulations, man.
That's a lot. And I was not mentally prepared for having to wake up early both days, but here we are. That's it. Belle took another death there, but we are... It's hard to say that there's much tension left in this race. Mike is a absolutely monstrous amount ahead at this point. He has not taken any other deaths. He's
I mean, on the one hand...
He's going to be finishing this run with a time that a lot of people would be happy with to get with any normal pod.
I mean,
let alone
on the one hand, I hate watching stomps, and part of what I was trying to champion with the rule set changes that I was suggesting was to make stomps less common. We wanted better pod variety and a limited track pool so that we could make stomps a little less common by giving people, less stuff that they have to practice so they're not preparing an entire 27 race roster on the off chance that their opponent picks something that's not Mongaza Speedway.
I will say that I think it could help in some ways, but I think ultimately there's some things about stomps that are unavoidable. But all right, we have finished it out here, and that's going to be a Mikeyburger 4-0 victory. Hello, Belle and Mikey. GG on the match.
GG, well played. Yeah. Or at least I'm assuming Mikey played well.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I think.
Well, Mike had a below average performance in terms of how often he died this time, but that's neither here nor there.
So I'm guessing.
Yeah, Mike, what happened?
He died twice, and his death rate is normally like 1 out of every 5 races. So to die twice in 4 races.
I hit what? I'll take that as an accomplishment.
Yeah, that Holler Gorge death is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that you chose to play that track at 24 FPS, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh.
Which track? Oh, you're talking about my mic.
I assume, because I think I used 24. So what?
Yeah. That's what I was just surprised by that.
All right. What would you use here?
I'm a 27,600 merchant on Howler and Andobi mount.
I mean,
the FPS has gotten a lot more granular over the years. 27 specifically. Not 30, not 24. 27 exactly. No more, no less.
Okay, but
27.
But domirae, don't you play with like damage parts anyway to make it even more granular?
I used to do that sometimes. I haven't in a while because just kind of didn't make enough of a difference that I cared. Because so many tracks, you can just kind of play with it with whatever you want. The reason I do 27,600 on Howler and Adobe Mount Run is because I would do 24 FPS, except now I cut boost early on the jump in order to hit the downhill early and get that speed. And I don't like 30 FPS. It's too difficult on the hairpins. So 27 is like the middle ground.
That makes sense to me.
But it also does make the bridge easier, to be fair. Just a tiny bit. And I also have a tilt manip set up. Like when you get like halfway up the upward part of the bridge, because it goes down then up. When you get like halfway up the upward part is when I release tilt and I start turning left near the top, and it tends to keep me on a low exit every time. But that's just fun stuff. But anyways, still a good match. I really enjoyed watching, especially Aldar and Varuk Ghost. I mean, come on.
That was a highlight. That was a highlight of the match.
I was thinking for the match. Sorry, go on, Belle. I'll let you go first.
My thought process was, I am out of track picks. Mike eliminated 2 of my tracks during selection by picking them himself. Screw it. Let's go something where nobody knows what they're doing.
That does bring up a very intriguing strategical thing that we did not get into, which is, since you're picking ahead of the match, if you want to prevent somebody from having a deep pool of tracks, you can use kind of like your mid to late picks to intentionally take away some of them if you don't think you're going to lose that many races. So like if you lost like one race, maybe your first pick is when you actually want to do, then you can kind of prevent the other person from picking after that point if you don't think you're going to get to those anyway. And use setups you would actually want to use. It's kind of nasty.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe there is also in the rules, you can have one side be full track and one side be skips. So it kind of doesn't completely work, but...
I should have put in AQC skips.
Yes. I guess technically it would have worked, huh?
For those keeping track at home,
have a skip to use, but...
Exactly. For those keeping track at home, there is no AQC skip.
There is a incredibly minor task-only skip, and then there's ones that lose time.
There's ones that lose time.
You're faster than the task, Dom, so why don't you do it?
You're funny. The trick you have to use to get the AQC skip is unbelievably precise. It took me... How long? It took me, I think, a couple hours to get the jump to happen in a task situation. Like, to find a setup at the start of the lap that actually worked.
Let's see, it's frame specific, angle specific, hover height specific.
Pretty much, yeah. It's awful because you have
probably
to
not totally viable then.
What?
No, I wouldn't call it tourney viable. No.
What do you mean? It's tourney viable. I think it's RTA viable too, honestly. Oh goodness. Well, did you guys have any thoughts on the match that you wanted to get out into the world?
You know what? I lost, but I still had fun.
Good.
That's the important part. That you lost. No.
Wow. Wow.
It was too easy. It was right there.
Get this joker out of here. Man.
Oh goodness.
I enjoyed Brew Coast with Beto because that was something I was going to suggest that I did with Belle before the match. So I'm kind of glad that happened because Beto's a fun pod as well. I
love Beto. Beto's my favorite.
Even though he's not like the most fun to actually play, he's pretty cool.
He may not be the fastest, but look at this sassy mug. How can you not love this man?
Every time I see Aldar, I just think of the wonderful man Celeste himself. Can't wait for him to hopefully come back to a tournament in the future. He has expressed interest, but not this year, so we'll get there someday. We'll get there. All right. Well, thank you guys for that fun match today. Definitely gave us a little bit of entertainment value in the commentary booth. And
boy.
also, thank you, Digital, for hopping on comms today.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. I'm sorry I was a little late. Like I said, I had to get gas, and then there was a train on a train crossing, which is... I don't know if anybody's really paid attention, but how often do you see that?
Well, given that there's a train that goes through my hometown, I see it way too often.
That's
I
fair.
live half a mile from a train station. I can see it from my window right now.
Well, it would appear that we've unintentionally dismantled what Digital has said. I apologize, Digital. You don't see it often.
I guess I've just lived a very privileged life where I've never gone across a railroad track at the same time as a train. My mistake.
Oh. And then also a couple more big thank yous to Speed Gaming, letting us have this tournament on here every year since 2019. Still going strong, still doing all the fun things. So thank you guys for that. And once again, it's tournament staffers and especially Lightning Pirate for this incredible setup that we have on the back end and the beautiful mall-inspired layout that we have for this year's tournament.
Yeah, LP did a great job on that this year. On everything this year, really.
Absolutely glorious. So if you like watching the tournament at all, keep him in mind. It's really all thanks to him. So thank you guys. And we do have 2 matches tomorrow. Hope you can catch them. Like I said, I'll be doing commentary on the early morning one. And that one is going to be Ram of Pluto versus... Oh, shoot, who is it? I have it written down. It is... No, I don't have it written down. I lied. No! I don't know who's Ram playing against because Bato doesn't want to tell me. That's rude. Well, Ram's playing against one of the newer people.
The Force Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I apologize to whoever that is. Is it Homura? Is it really? Why is it not display Homura? Okay, anyways. Ram versus
yeah,
Homura,
the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Blue apostrophe for the second match later in the day. But yeah, got that to look forward to. Hope we see you then. And again, may the Force be with you.
Keep your goggles on and your engines tuned, everybody.
Not all.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.